Hello again, Living Storm here, and today I would like to talk about open world instances. I'm not talking about open world dungeons like in Classic. What I mean is dungeons and ways that appear in the open world. I'm going to go through them zone by zone instead of expansion by expansion because Cataclysm. Our first stop is the Lost City of the Tolvir. You actually go straight into this area when you start the Old Doom questline. Also, some wares and quest objectives appear when the zone is under assault by the Black Empire. Next up, we got the Ruins and Temple of Encourage. The entire Ruins of Encourage are accessible to players in the world, while the Temple of Encourage only has the above ground section open. Next is Sul Farak. Not much to say other than there's a bunch of trolls gathered at the temple where they sacrifice stuff to. Alright, that's it with the calendar instances. Now on to the Eastern Kingdoms. Next is Zuguweb, which is based more on the classic raid than the revamped dungeon. The platform for the final boss in Upper Blackrock Spire, after the Warlord's Draenor updates, can be seen in Blackrock Mountain. The area for the final boss in Blackling Lair can be also seen on Blackrock Mountain. You also have to go through it in order to reach Blackwing Descent. Next, Shadowfang Keep with its misleading doors. It's a little hard to notice, but if you look through the smoke, you can see like a beta version of Stratholme. The Sunwell Raid is also in the open world, but there's no flying and you can't quite get into the area, so can't really get any footage of it. Now we're going straight to Pandaria. The Temple of the Jade Serpent actually has a quest line where you get familiar with the place before having to do the dungeon. The Stormsouth Brewery also has a quest where you get familiar with the bosses. The Shadowpan Monastery is populated by Shadowpan wardens, warriors, and guardians. Then there's the Seeds of Niaozo Temple. Nothing much to say about it. The Gate of the Setting Sun has a where the final boss would be. Now on to Draenor. There's actually a quest line where you go into the uninstance version of the Iron Docks to unlock your shipyard for your garrison. Now Skyreach, another dungeon you can access out in the world, with nothing else going for it. Heimdall actually feels like an ogre city. It's got a lot of ogres and a couple of layers, one of which can drop a pet. Now for the Broken Isles. The Eye of Ajara is almost an entire zone with an elite world quest you can unlock. The Nighthall is pretty much the same with all the mobs running around. There's so much going on in the area of Soma used by the Court of Stars dungeon that you can barely even tell it's used for a dungeon. This area of Stormheim is used in the Trial Vow raid after the first boss. For the Maw of Souls, the area behind the dungeon portal has the area where the first boss is, also the gate where the boat appears. You go to the area where the seat of the Triumvirate is for part of the quest line in Makari and some world quests. Now on to Kultiras then. Freehold is part of the Tiergard Sound quest line, and there are some world quests, wares, and treasures there. Tol Dagor is unique in that the interior of the area is fully accessible, which usually isn't the case for instances in the open world. The Siege of Borealis is just Borealis on fire. The Shrine of the Storm is a bit of a tease in that it'll teleport you out if you get too close. For Operation Mechagon, the first 4 bosses are just on the island itself. Now on to Zuldazar. The Battle of Dazar Allure has the first 3 bosses on the Alliance side, and the 7th and 8th bosses all in the Harbor District, while the first 3 bosses on the Horde side are in the Lower District. The Talazar is where the last part of the Zuldazar questline is, and you have to get through there in order to get to the King's West dungeon. Alright, now finally the Shadowlands. The Necrotic Lake area is where the final part of the Bastion leveling questline occurs. It's also part of the Necrolord questline. The Plaguefall area is where the world quest from the Necrolord and McCuctor is. The Mist of Tirna Scythe area is where several world quests occur and a few wares spawn. The Halls of Atonement is where the Avowed questline occurs, as well as the web grind for it. And now, finally, and most recently, Tazavesh the Veiled Market. But you can't go in the area unless you're in the actual dungeon itself. Alright, now, let me know if I missed any instances. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see ya!